Welcome, community, to our sixth session of Be Your Own Guru, and we are now looking at intuition. Okay, so before you step into your discoveration of intuition, it's important to look at your core philosophies. I've spoken about our core philosophies in the last, I think, in almost every recording that we've done so far. Why do I speak about this? Because it is helpful. It's not essential, but it is 80% helpful for your forward movement. I'm just going to give you some examples to sort of give your mind some pathways of opportunity that you may choose to consider when you're stepping into your exploration into your own intuition. Previously in the past, the collective assessment of somebody who tunes in or is intuitive, and we have been uh, slanted through the ages, burned at the stake, heads cut off. I suppose anyone that claims to be telepathic or is telepathic, um, is a medium, does see spirits, ghosts, you're considered a witch or crazy. This is the belief system of the collective. It's very, it's Our belief systems are indoctrinated into us or conditioned into us through our life cycles, through our experiences, through school, through our family, through our friendship groups, and through maybe the media that you watch, through the movies that you may watch, through the books that you may read. It is, it just slowly and insidiously goes in, no matter whatever you're sort of focused on. And if your core belief system believes that, and it might not be something you've put in. Again, it might be something that you've read, that you've seen in movies that you resonate with, that you have been consistently told endlessly through religion or through your family, or maybe this is a loop that you've had in yourself because you're sort of discombobulated or slightly fractionated away from your core self. As we go through life, that's the onion layer, essentially the layers and layers go on as we grow, which is true. And it depends on what you want to put in those layers. And when you are consciously programming yourself or really sitting in your core belief systems and then understanding your own philosophies and then stepping forward with those, you're sitting in far greater awareness, self-awareness, for your forward movement. However, if you're allowing those core belief systems to be conditioned within you, then your understanding of your true philosophies really, it's a great time for that to then be explored. Because if you're ignoring that and then you're choosing to try and overlay with a new conditioning or a new belief and it contradicts or is the opposite to that core belief that's already locked in, it may cancel each other out. So you come forward with, oh no, I'll just let that go. I'm not going to step into that because it's too difficult. It's one's fighting against the other, or it's not working, or um, sometimes that also creates lots of roadblocks in ourselves. If I believe that if I can read someone and I know what they're thinking, and I'm letting them know what they think, and they say, "Oh, you're crazy," because that's the society reaction or response, then you're speaking your truth, but your feedback system is a lack of acceptance. And so that then may go to your core belief system, and then you start to, what that creates in you is a lot of roadblocks, mistrust in the self, um, lack of support in the self, because the feedback that you're getting from those around you is negative, or it mirrors what your core deep belief is rather than what you are truly trying to step into. And that often is presented to us each move forward that we make and each change of conditionings that we see. That's mirrored from the outside when we're trying to change our actual our actual core belief is often mirrored to us from someone else. Yeah. My personal experience is that I was very accepted as a child. I had a very amazing upbringing. I was always the black sheep, but that was just accepted. That was great. I was able to move forward. When I started to step into relationships, that was the point where, well, I always chose friends that accepted me because I accepted myself, and that was what was mirrored on my outside. Then when I started to step into relationships, or interaction with other people that potentially were on a different energetic space or energetic journey or different aspect or part of their journey, and there was a lot of pushback. Oh, you must be crazy if you can hear what people think. I was a bit taken aback by this because that wasn't part of my core belief system. However, as you tune into the collective unconscious or the collective consciousness of people's belief systems that they've locked in, and that's what's sort of helping create the vibrational aspect of society that we all then connect with, because that sort of infiltrates, because we're all just vibration elements of more dense vibration and lighter vibration, but we are essentially vibration. So as we interact with that vibration, it sort of like filters in a little bit somehow, which can be quite confusing. It can have you question yourself. It can have you question your own belief systems, and it can have you bring in that self-doubt or judgment loops that go around. So we all have these, I call them the nemesis in life, and we all have that. So we can see our nemesis as someone who takes us down. I have watched a lot of movies where the light always wins, the good guys always win, the white hats always win. So my core belief system is that I am the hero because the nemesis must have a hero, that the hero must be me. And if I am the hero, ultimately I'm going to succeed. I'm going to overcome whatever I'm facing, which is great, fantastic, moving forward. So what I learned from other people calling me crazy, and this went quite far. It went to the point where I was in a position where I was forced to have a full psychiatric breakdown for the powers that are fading. And turns out I'm completely sane. So what my nemesis has done here is validate my core belief system. And once that has been validated within me, completely, wholeheartedly validating according to my system, my belief system, as well as according to this 3D kind of belief system or matrix, that's been validated. It's been validated there. It's been validated in my system. That's it. There's no more. There's no more combat there. The roadblocks are finished. The roadblocks are over. So I can now fully, as proof to others, not myself, I already truly believed in my pathway. Sometimes other people need their proof to step forward and into their belief system. And then once you've sort of come to that point where you feel, okay, well, I'm really stepping over this now. I'm just moving forward and I'm just moving on. That's often when you turn the page and then the next chapter begins. And this can be a growth from each, your story is not a separate set of short stories. Your story is your chapters of yourself. So with each chapter, your character, you're the main character. So your character hopefully expands and grows. I'm sure if you're listening to this information, you're really on the path of expansion. So that's great. Otherwise, you'd be listening to your indoctrination loops. And that's cool too, because that's just maybe where you are. And you know what, like, we need a bit of everyone here to help with the journey of growth for all. So everybody has a part to play, and sometimes we just need to accept that aspect of people or accept that person for where they are, where they're at, and then just gently let the energy pass you by, which is what I learned to do, and it just makes life a lot easier, I must say. Like, why get in with the conversation to try and convince someone, or shame someone into believing something else? It's far more effective to just go, okay, you're a responsible adult, I'm a responsible adult, I've had a lot of thought over my processes and my belief systems, and if you think and feel that way, that's great. I think and feel this way. How empowering for me. I'm now able to move forward into my intuition. Okay, so we've we've challenged our core belief system. We've established that, right, my core belief system is solid, absolutely solid. Now, as we step into our intuition, it's simply patience. Okay, and also checking in, is that true for me? The other thing that you is important to do is a really good amount of time to make sure that yourself is cleansed. Before you step into intuition, it's important to feel cleansed. If you've had a bad day, a bad day, terrible day, uh, someone came in and someone knocked into my car, then I cooked lunch and I burnt it, and then my son's sick again. I've just been tearing my hair out. Okay, like I'm about to step into a reading. I'm just going to step in and I'm going to read someone or tune into myself. All I'm going to receive is information on that vibration. So I've put myself into a lower vibration aspect because I've had a tough day. And instead of resetting myself, I've jumped on in because I just need something to happen that's right. And I've jumped on in and I've started reading for myself, and all I can see is the doom and gloom that it's coming up. Yeah. So when you tune in to the vibration that you're sitting in. So that's very, very important. You need to be in a good space before you start tuning into your intuition, because you want to receive the highest possible pathway for yourself, the highest possible clarity, the highest possible good or light that you can receive for your journey forward. Of course, that's what we want to embody and receive and then step forward into. So important. So take the time to cleanse yourself. Take the time to do a little meditation. Go back to the orb meditation that we've put up on every platform that we're on: Instagram, Facebook. It's on Rumble, and it's on YouTube. And our name throughout every platform is Tongue, AND, Tonic. So head to any of those and try that meditation out. See how it resonates with you. Please, I encourage you to make changes that suit you. Record yourself with the meditation, listen to it, find something that's going to help you reset. Scent also helps you reset and cleanse. Frankincense, sage, black pepper as essential oils, even any kind of citrus blend or combination moves chi and energy to help you. Crystals can also help bring up your vibration. All quartz vibrate at the 528 vibration, the vibration of love and joy. So holding a quartz, having it assist you with your tune in, taking a moment to lift up to the vibration that the quartz is emanating out of its being or essence or aspect, sitting, tuning into that and allowing yourself to then step in. Or maybe you need to have a walk or go to nature and put your hands and feet in nature and ground before you start tuning into yourself and to others. So as you start to do this for yourself, you will also start to do this for others. So it's very important to first step into self and then step in self to others. It is obviously not obviously, but it is much easier to read for other people. It simply is because our own head gets in the way when we're reading for ourselves. That's why I like to use pendulums or oracle cards or tarot cards for myself. Sometimes tarot cards I can sometimes put my own little area of what I want to receive. So sometimes when I'm reading for myself, I just stick to the oracle or the pendulum, or I phone a friend, phone a psychic friend. If you are stepping into your psychic abilities and you are sitting in the collective consciousness of collaboration, um, and support, then you will naturally attract other friendships that of people that are psychics or healers or someone that can assist you on your journey. So if you just take a minute to think about your friendship group, does that mirror where you're at, where your values at, where your authenticity is at, and where your spiritual growth is at? Is it time to allow and welcome in new energies that can assist you on this new pathway that you may be stepping into? Have a think about that. The other thing that when we're tuning into others and we step into that, we need to make sure that we respect free will. This is super important. As your gifts grow, as my gifts grew, I played around with them a lot, and I realized that I can, if somebody is in a meditation, I can actually jump into that meditation and view what is going on. This, I feel it steps over the line unless you have asked permission. So if somebody came to me and they said, Jemima, I'm really having trouble meditating. I keep getting stuck. Can you help me? I said, well, to help you, I would need to jump into that meditation. While you're in the meditation, potentially I can sit in a Reiki sort of trance, and then I can see everything, and then I can guide you through your meditation that you've gone into. If someone says, oh, that makes me feel uncomfortable, I say, absolutely. Well, let's try it a different way. Or someone might say, absolutely, I agree. Okay, well, you've agreed, we've made an agreement, so now we're going to head down that way. Are there any other boundaries that we want to bring up and bring forward? Because when you're doing this sort of work, it's important to have a look at the parameters or the boundaries. Very important. Honestly, you don't want to get stuck in someone's head. I think it's challenging enough to get on top of your own head. Taking on someone else's burden or troubles simply makes you the martyr. Do you want to step into the martyr aspect while you're a healer? I can tell you that it's quite disempowering to be the martyr while you're healing someone. Very disempowering as the client and as the practitioner. I've definitely been down that road, and I wouldn't recommend it, but it's important to understand, recognize, and reflect if you're on that pathway, and have a look at what might be a different pathway for you to travel, or what other pathways can you open up and walk through in a way that is conducive to your forward movement as well as the other person's forward movement. You will also find that you will continue to attract the same person over and over again if you're sitting in a challenge. So when you are a practitioner, it's a good reflection of where you are, as well as being in service to another. I have sat down, I've had many readings, and some of the readings I've walked away and the reader has said to me, I got so much out of that. And I was meant to be the client. So that's quite interesting as well. Yeah, it would have been that person was in that frame, that they were in a pickle and they were requesting assistance. They went to work, so they weren't quite in the right frame of mind. But it is positive that they understood that the reading was not only for me, but it was also for them. So these are all important. So when you are tuning in, it's important, unless you make an agreement with the person, to stick to the communication that comes up on their auric field or boundary if you're tuning in to them specifically. If you are working with someone's guides, when you request the information, the guides will only give you the information that is valid. They're very good at sifting through. They're not in an onion skin of a temple. They're simply light and acceptance and and positive energy around you. So they're really trying to assist you to step into your best possible pathway. So when you tune into that person's guides, or if you have trouble tuning into their guides, ask their guides to talk to your guides, and then you receive that information from your guides, and then you relay that information directly to the person. So there's so many different pathways that you can go down. You can also receive information directly from source. Uh, Sometimes it is, I mean, there is a system. We all have guides. Do you need to go directly to source? Or do you just understand that source is a seed of source is within you? So when you're speaking, you are speaking elements from, as long as you're speaking in the positive light and forgiveness and truth and love, then you are speaking from source. And in understanding that we're all on a different pathway. So whatever decisions someone is making for themselves, it's to do with their core value system. It could be due to their agreements or agreements that they have with self and with others, or with purpose as well, and or with purpose, the purpose that you are here. So if you're here for a certain purpose and you keep going off your purpose, something will keep bringing you back over and over again. And instead of getting frustrated, is take a moment to understand why you are here in this place and time, and why you keep sort of bouncing back to this moment or to this place or with this person. Why does that keep occurring? Start to look at it as a lesson, start to look at it as an adventure. When we're sitting in this frame of mind, this is a much more receptive space to hear, so have your clairaudience or use your telepathy. I have noticed that as we shift into a more fifth dimensional reality, particularly with my children, I've worked a lot with my children on telepathy and their intuitive gifts, and their telepathy is just so clear now, much clearer. You know, I won't say a word. I'll just be thinking something over, considering. Maybe I'm about to action in maybe 10, 15 minutes. One of them will come up to me, one of my beautiful boys will come up to me and say, "Oh, hey, Mum, I feel like I can help you with this now." I'm like, "Oh, I was just thinking of that. Thank you." So it's making our lives and communication actually a lot, I think, a lot easier for us. We make sure that we have clarity on that communication. So telepathy is an excellent skill to practice with your family, with your friends, with your close people, or with a circle or a group. So intuition is also, it's very important to work on your intuition by yourself, because forming that deep bond of trust, looking at your core belief systems and making sure that they line up with your purpose and your movement forward is key. It's also very effective to sit in circle, or sit circle it's called, and study or learn or practice your intuition, because your intuition is simply like a muscle. If you want muscles, you go to the gym or you work out, or you do something exercisey. But if you want to practice your intuition, you've got to jump into your meditation, finding your peace, finding your calm, bringing your awareness, bring yourself into the moment, connection with your guides or positive spiritual beings that may be surrounding you. I mean, they're simply everywhere. I mean, a quarter of the time I look up because I can feel energy changing and shifting in the store, and there's no one there, apparently. But if I looked and sort of looked to the corner of my eyes, you can feel that the energy is different, that the energy is changing. So I always just thank the positive energy that comes in, and we just move on from there. So things really are changing, shifting, and creating. Something new is being created, and it is up to you to step in, make the choice to step in. So when you are doing a reading for yourself or for another, it's also key to step in with you're not the judge. It's If you have an opinion, make sure that you state it is your opinion. And this is where it gets a bit hazy when you read for yourself, because if you read for yourself, you're like, is that my opinion? I'm reading for myself. Is that my opinion, or is it my consciousness, or is that coming from the collect? It just gets a little bit hazy sometimes. That's why group work can be very, very effective. And when you have a lot of clarity as well when you do group work. When you're sitting circle, or if you're you can do a lot of online circles, remote circles. There's all sorts of circles that you can do. When you do these circles and you do a meditation and everybody comes together, you'll often find that you'll see similar things to other people in the circle when you're tuning into each person around the circle. So as you're tuning in, someone will say, "Oh, I saw this forest," and someone else says, "I saw toucans," and then someone else say, "But I saw this, and I saw you went through the forest as well." And so you're starting to get the picture that the clarity that what you're seeing, you're starting to get validation for what you're seeing, hearing, understanding. Your skills can come through in any of the 5 intuitive senses. We're concentrating on clairaudience today, so I will focus on that. So someone might hear the same word might repeat, and 3 people around the circle might repeat the same word. This is 3 people out of maybe 9 to 10 people. That's a pretty good odds, and that's also saying that you're correct. You get that clarity that oh great, and then it gives you a bit more inspiration to sort of relax into it a little bit more, allow the information to come. It gives you the confidence to then step forward a little bit further. So that's why your intuition circles are very, very important if you truly want to grow into your expansion. You can create these on your own as well. You can create intuitive circles with your friends. It is nice to read for your friends. It is easier sometimes to read for people that you don't know at all. I prefer not to know anything about people. When people come to readings with me, I always make sure that I do a meditation together before we begin. Because if we're doing a meditation together, we're clearing, we're creating that sense and that balance of self, and we're bringing back to releasing other people's energy from our orbs. So do a very similar meditation to the orb meditation that is online, releasing that energy and then getting a true picture or a true sense of the energetic aspects or resonance of the person, and then I'm able to relay that information. Once you then relay that information of what I've seen, and I learned that from doing the intuition circles. It's very, very clear and a very concise way to step forward into a reading. And then once you sort of cleared the decks, everybody's feeling a bit better. And also, once the person on the other side that you're reading for has also gone through the meditation, they're generally in a better vibrational state. So then when you read for them, they're not potentially seeing that pathway as a yes and that pathway as a no, because this is an old school way of looking at it. This is a judgmental way, a duality way. Realistically, we're stepping into unity. So as I read for people, and I encourage other people to read, because it's important to sit in your own acceptance. Once you accept yourself, you accept others. So I'm not here to judge your pathways. So I can't tell you whether a pathway is positive or negative or good or bad or right or wrong. It's not my place. It's simply my place to say, if you walk down this pathway, these are your challenges. And if you choose this pathway, these are your challenges. Both pathways are open to you. Both pathways are going to result in positivity, because as you step into each pathway and you have the courage to step into each pathway, turn the chapter, start the new chapter, start the journey. As you have the courage to do that and the courage to step in, it becomes an adventure. It becomes an adventure this way, and it becomes an adventure that way. If you're seeing it from a different filter, a different perspective, a different vibration, and a different level of, I'm just here to expand. I'm simply here to help myself. Often it is quite interesting. So people with that core belief system that, life is hard. Life is hard. They'll often choose a pathway that is much more challenging for themselves, but they need to choose that pathway. They need to choose that pathway because they need to change that core belief and then step into a new core belief, which allows them to take a different pathway. So it's never right or wrong. It's simply what you need for that time. And I'm going to emphasize it again. Courage is important. We stay in our loop system and in the endless, we haven't moved forward. We haven't moved forward. We're having trouble stepping in because we're either in fear, anxiety, too much energy is outside of ourselves, and therefore we're unable to make a decision and then move forward. So, really have a reflection on where you're at and how you view your choices and how helpful to yourself that you are when you reflect on those choices. When I've taken the more challenging road because my core belief system will only allow me to take that road realistically, um, then when I step in, I've given myself courage. If I stay there and um, allowing my fear to completely block me, then I continue to create imaginary roadblocks that becomes actual roadblocks blocks in my matrix or my existence, and then I sit into a lower vibration because I'm still like housed in that life is hard, life is hard, everything that comes at me is hard. It's a very negative place to be. It's kind of a bit soul destroying. So instead of sitting in that space, how about you know, God, life is hard, but I'm doing well. Good job. You did great there. So when we're sitting in that negative cycle or frame or phase, it's really important to feed back to yourself in order to change that core belief system. You did a good job there. Well done. Um, Hats off to you. Um, you know, um, I'm glad that you stepped into that. It was challenging. You did a good job. So the self-talk is really important when you're utilizing your intuition. Remember, we are a whole. We're not a sum of parts. Um, the more you create balance within, in your mind, in your body, and in your purposeful pathway forward, the more you consolidate yourself, the easier it is to draw in all your gifts that you have been gifted through this lifetime at different phases or times. So do remember that. The courage, this positive self-talk. I often find when people are tuning in, they're like this, and it's like, wow, it's not hard. It's actually easy if you let go. Let go, allow it in. That's why intuition is also done best after a meditation, because we're in a relaxed, calm state and we're ready to receive. If your back is sore and you go to a seminar and you need to sit in a chair for 4 hours to listen to this seminar and all you can think about is your back pain, how are you going to take on any information? Your body's blocked and locked, and so therefore nothing can go in. If we're sitting in a looping cycle, we're frustrated, we're having a bad day, our vibration's different, how do you tune in? It's like the same as having a tight body and unable to receive information. Now I have constriction or a depression of my energy. How can I receive clarity of information when I have those things going on? You can. It's just it's more difficult. It's easier. What do you truly choose for yourself? The pathway of easy or the pathway of easy? Things come and I accept my challenges and I step up to them and I really step up to the plate and I see that in a positive light, or am I looking at it in a negative aspect? So again, remember as well, when you're sitting in that negative aspect and you read for someone, you're only reading that vibration in them as well. Because if you're housed in a lower vibration, even if you look up, it's very difficult to see the higher aspect of someone. You're really stuck in that whatever vibrate you read in whatever vibration you're in. But if you sit in a higher, joyful acceptance vibration, you can read all the vibrations all the way through. It makes it much easier and honestly much more pleasurable. So as we've gone through all of those, it really is important to so next week I'm going to really go into an intuition session. I feel that I would like to do one during the week. We've been trying to get the live sessions going. My son, my 12-year-old, my tech support is home at the moment, so I definitely will get that through. And I do want to run a session during the week if we can get that up and going on the live through Instagram. So I will let you know, and it's important to tune in for that one if this is something that you're very interested in. So, yeah, so Claire audience, we will be stepping into again. I encourage you to do your homework or to do your work for your journey. Do you need to really be housed and find your meditation? Some people do just do a Ho'oponopono meditation, the grateful meditation um, from the Hawaiian culture. Make sure that you have cleansed yourself, that you're sitting in a place to receive, that you are calm and relaxed. Have you reviewed your core belief systems? Where do your core belief systems sit? What is your understanding of your core belief systems? Do any of them need to change or be modified? Or perhaps you just simply need an understanding of them in order to move forward. Because when you understand your core belief systems, you're no longer tripping yourself up. You're simply going, why is that? Why is that a block? Okay, I'm just going to look at my core belief systems. Oh, that's why I'm being blocked. Okay, and then I can look at all my aspects of how to change that core belief system. And then lastly, you just got to be really, really patient with yourself. It's really, really important just to give yourself a break. Forgiveness. So all of the things that we've been talking about, so a spiritual cleansing and awareness and expansion of yourself will allow your gifts to truly rush and come in. Well, actually, you can decide. They don't need to rush. You can decide. You can say, okay, I'm ready for my gifts to arrive gently. I'm ready for my gifts to arrive all at once. I'm ready for the download. I'm going to take a couple of days off and just meditate and chill out. I can feel it coming. Yeah, step in however you choose to step in. Find the pathway that suits you. Truly step into being your own guru, finding your own pathway. Everything that resonates with you, step in, give it a go. And what have you got to lose, honestly? The truth does set you free. It will set you free. And it also gives you a little advantage. If you're sitting in your belief system that telepathy is correct and you're communicating with someone, sorry, cat distraction. So if you believe that telepathy exists, you're communicating with someone who has a disbelief in that. They are saying something completely different in their head and it's sending it to their orb, but then they're changing it and sending it to you. And you can start to see the truth. It starts to unveil what that person really means. So they're saying something, they're speaking something out loud, but you're reading them in the free will on the edge of their orb, and you're saying, oh, this is contraindicated to actually what you want to put forward, and then you're saying something else. Oh, the authenticity is not there. And it's when you're sitting in your telepathy and your intuition, this becomes very, very clear. It's much, much clearer to discern who's telling the truth from their own personal core system. Some people lie to themselves because they don't understand their core system. They don't understand their core philosophies. And again, it's just an interesting witness position. I don't need to judge anyone for that, and nobody needs to judge anyone for that. It's simply maybe if we were taught in schools, or if we were taught when we were young, or if we were given this information from a very early age, sure, you'd be like, oh, okay, oh, didn't you learn that in school? Oh, that's interesting. But we haven't been taught any of this. We're simply all just feeling our way in the dark mostly. I mean, thank goodness for the internet. It's been very helpful, but it's also can be slightly confusing if you don't understand who you are. And so I really encourage you to step into this aspect of yourself. I feel it's essential for your movement forward. You're going to have less roadblocks as you move through these sessions and start to play around with your intuition and get a little bit better and a little bit more clarity with it. And then as you get more clarity with the first gift that you've received, usually, so mine was definitely telepathy or clairaudience. The gift then becomes stronger, clearer, easier to sit in, easier to reach, easier to access, and then bam, the next gift pops in. Just even without knowledge, because you're ready, you've expanded, you've put the effort and the time in and the preparation to then receive the next gift. Often receiving all your gifts at once is a bit of it does happen, but it's quite unusual. It would be really full on for someone, and I'm not sure who would really set themselves up for that in their agreements before they came. And if you did, it must be for a very, 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 very strong reason and very strong purpose that you need to step into at that time. So if you have had that happen to you, or your gifts have been sort of like thrown at you from one go and you almost feel like you're going a little bit crazy, this is the point where you need to slow down, take some time off, and start to get control of what's going on in your systems, in your looping systems, in your headspace. What energies are you listening to? And then a reflection of, where am I going? Usually if your gifts arrive all at one point, then your mentor will usually turn up in front of you. Kind of feels like every other adventure fantasy movie, maybe. All the gifts come and now their mentor's there and off they go on their adventure. And it is like that. Movies are a reflection of the truth that's happened or happening in the world. It's just displayed in all sorts of different ways to give us that questioning. Is that true? See what you resonate with. So step into those. I look forward to seeing you in the next session. Please come and try some of our taster sessions at Tongue and Tonic, and have a look at our blogs that are up. Our newsletter's also up on our front page of our website. If you would like to receive our newsletter in your inbox, just scroll down to the bottom of the homepage and you can sign up or subscribe there. We really only send about an email out about once a month, so we're not a spam organization. We're pretty chilled, actually, honestly. I think that's the best way to be. If you would like to sign up to the online intuition class, that will be up on Wednesday, this Wednesday, the 11th or the 12th. And then the session is scheduled for Thursday, the 27th of April at 6 p.m., which is in approximately 2 weeks, and it will be a remote sitting circle. It'll be a $15 investment, which is half the price of our in-house sessions. Our in-house circle sessions are $30 a session. So it's a good opportunity to surprise yourself with how well you remotely connect and tune in, as well as an opportunity to give it a go. This session will be limited to 12 people, because we do need to do readings for each person, and this can take a little bit of time. We'll also have a couple of warm-up exercises which will be very helpful for you to practice and use. Some of these exercises I've used with my children to assist with their growth, and if you have children, I would also encourage you to start early with your children and give them the skills that they will require in this fifth dimensional space that we're moving into. Okay, so enjoy your week. I will see you for a little mini live to see if we can finally get this live going. During the week, we'll put updates on Facebook and Instagram so that you can attend that one if you choose. Okay. Thank you. Have a great week, and we will see you again soon.